What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. So, I want to talk about what Jeezy had to say about Jeannie Mai's comment that she made on the reel a while ago. You know, the infamous quote unquote dark meat on the side comment that she made some time ago. Personally, I'm a little surprised that Jeezy, one, actually cared, and two, actually addressed it. I didn't expect him to care or to address it. I just thought it was just, quote unquote, it is what it is. By the way, I hate that expression. Hate that phrase. Um, but Jeezy was being interviewed by an organization called The Morning Hustle, and a woman brought up the comment. By the looks of it, I don't think she's like a black woman. Maybe she mixed, but I'm gonna say she's a non-black woman. Um, she brought up the comment and asked him about it, and Jeezy, he spoke about it, and he said that it's just how real Jeannie is that she brought up the comment. When they kind of started talking with each other, and I was wondering, why did Jeannie Mai feel the need to bring up the comment? I'm assuming that she probably just felt the need to do it just in case, so that there's no like misunderstandings, that maybe she doesn't want him to think that she has anti-black views, anti-black sentiments, etc. So she brought up the comment and put it into context for Jeezy, per him on the show, what he said. And, everything was all good in the hood for Jeezy. I think it was pretty much good in the hood before. I really don't think he cared that much about it, you know. And I think black men in general didn't really care that much about it, right? But, this is something that, a lot of black women especially have sort of brought up, once this situation, once, Jeannie Mai and Young Jeezy publicly um, came out as a couple, or came out as a couple and announced it publicly. And so I guess for the black women who were interested in what Jeezy has to think about it, that's what he has to think about it. You know. And he also spoke about basically low key defending Jeannie Mai, saying that basically she ain't racist, right? And that when he's been around her family, he has never felt, I guess, racism. And she's from the Bay, and she knows E40 better than he does. Right? Like really, like that's the benchmark, right? That's what we are striving for. From the Bay, and she knows E40. Mm-hmm. Jeannie Mai can't be no racist. But yeah, it's a bit odd. But I guess maybe that's just you know, what he thinks about the situation, right? Um, but on the other hand, I could see perhaps Jeezy being one of those people that are maybe like low key sleep, so probably don't really notice as much when it comes to racism or whatever. Perhaps. But ultimately, you know, it's his choice, his life, his money, etc. You know, you know, if it works for them and they're happy, then I'm happy for them. Um, but I do think it's kind of good to have these sort of discussions and, sort of have these things on record as well, especially when other things in the future wind up popping off. Then we can go back to this situation like, okay, well, you did say this, this, and this. All right. Um, but I do feel, well, one, I'll say that this relationship, and I've mentioned this before, but I feel like this relationship is very much pushed in the media and amongst black people especially. Like I feel like the mainstream media is pushing this relationship as well as like the black community for some reason. And Don't be a black woman who doesn't agree with the relationship because you gonna be jealous. You bitter. Why are you so angry? Love is love. He can love who he wanna be with. He can be with who he wanna love. Dark meat on the side, Jeannie Mai said it's alright. So, you know, we already know that song, right? Um, and of course, black men are singing the song, but also, more strangely, black women singing the song and caping for Jeezy and the relationship for some reason. I guess they feel like that's a win for them. I guess if I, I mean, yeah. But congratulations if you feel like this is a win for you. Caping black woman though. Yeah. And also another thing I want to kind of bring up is, if a black woman was dating a non-black man who had a history of saying a comment like this, you know, trust and believe she would be pretty much ridiculed for even considering being with him. And also, if she was still with him, she would be almost like forced to have to speak out about it, like forced to address it. It wouldn't be the situation with Jeezy, like how it came about with Jeezy. It would be like people coming at her left and right about a comment that a non-black man made, like, oh, the dark meat on the side, right? you know and I guess partially, we just hold women, I say particularly black women oftentimes are held to a higher standard, in the black community for some reason. You know, the standards are much lower when it comes to black men, thus the issues that we have in the black community. Yeah. Also, another thing that I kind of heard about was like some black men getting mad at some black women because during that versus battle between Jeezy and Gucci Mane, some black women were like, well, they're going to side with Gucci Mane because he with a black woman. And some black men got mad at the comment or mad at that thought. And ultimately, I'm like, well, black women can support who black women want to support. You know, black women aren't obligated to support every single black man just because he's a black man. And even if it is considered a petty reason to support or not, so what? Like, so what? It's my support and I can move my support where I want to. Thus, we all have that right, right? We all can support what we want to support and not support what we don't want to support, whether it's for legitimate reasons or whether it's for petty reasons. Um, but yeah, I heard, kind of heard some people getting mad at black women over that. And it's like, well, so what? Who cares? You know, on to the next topic. I don't really think it's, that big a deal. It's a versus battle, really. Like, is it really that big a deal? It's not like we're choosing the president of the United States here. But when black women start talking about relinquishing support, that's when folks all of a sudden notice the black woman. That's right. They notice the black woman and they gonna make sure they keep her in check and make sure that she knows her place and she better support that black king. All right. Support that black king. So what if he ain't never gave you a wedding ring? Support that black king. So what if he's bringing the pain, bringing the rain into your life, baby? Support your black king. You gotta stand by your black king, right? That's pretty much the the sentiment, right? No matter what, stand by the black king, right? But kind of like, what is the reward for that? What's the prize for doing that, though? You just gotta ask, what's in it for you? But to bring it back to a previous topic I was speaking about, um, yeah, but if a black woman was in this situation, she would pretty much be constantly ridiculed at every turn for even considering, you know, let alone being with, a non-black man who had a, history of saying comments like that. And as well, like, oddly enough, if the black woman was with a black man who said, like, colorist sexual comments, then people would kind of be like, turning a blind eye to it, as they usually do with colorism complaints and colorism issues in the black community, right? So it's a bit different when it comes to the standards that we have for, black men. And of course, I think this is sort of just reflective of, like, you know, sexual standards when it comes to behavior in men versus women, of course. But as well, I do think there's more of a layer put on it because it's a black woman, you know, as is usual, right? So I don't want to go on for too long about this topic. I just wanted to come through right quick and just give a couple of thoughts and opinions about this, and, see what you guys have to say. What do you guys think about this? You think that Jeannie and Jeezy, make a good couple? Do you think that Jeannie Mai has a prize that, many black women are, jealous of, even though I do see many black women supporting. But I guess that's that's irrelevant. Folks just pay attention to the black women who are angry about it. Um, what do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comments section. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now. I guess one more thing. Do you think that Jeannie Mai's comment was taken out of context? Um, I think that what prompted Jeannie Mai to make that comment was, I think, Lonnie Love's and Tamar Braxton's sort of coming at her and making jabs, and I guess teasing or whatever you want to call it about Jeannie Mai perhaps not liking men or having, I guess, man crush Mondays who were not reflective of her husband, even though Lonnie and Tamar also criticized Tamara for having men crush Mondays that were very much very similar to her husband. So I'm like, you can't win there. I mean, and Tamar should. That's a whole nother story. um, but I think that situation with Jeannie and Lonnie Love and Tamar, I think that sort of maybe part of the reason that she said on the side, had to add in dark meat on the side comment, was to let them know that, hey, you know, she may like black men, but they're on the side. She prefers white men like her husband, which may or may not be true. I think it may have been maybe flipped around a little bit. I think she probably prefers black men, but, for assimilation purposes and for the purposes of, you know, having a quote unquote good look, I think that she may have just ended up going with her husband because that was a better look. It helped for assimilation, etc. Right? It was a good look. But now she's kind of been there, done that, and she just want to, you know, have some fun. So this is why, partially, she's just going for what she likes now, you know. And also, some black women feel like Jeannie Mai sort of all lives matters black women's issues. And I think that's the issue that some black women have with her as well. Sort of like trying to very much, every time like black women's issues come up on the reel, she's like trying to pretty much say, oh, no, it's like, trying to, downplay it and just make it seem like, oh, it's just the woman's issue and things like that. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Adios and goodbye for now.